This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Alarak, we have Shrek. Or at least we call him Shrek for now. His name is actually Shirk, but it could be Shark actually, but we'll call him Shrek. Player 2, playing Stukov, we have AOM Master. So let's have a look at the masteries first, and let's see the selections. Both players are playing on brutal difficulty, we can see that over here. And all the masteries seem relatively in line. As far as Stukov goes, he's picked the infantry duration over the mech attack speed, therefore we're kind of expecting a bunker or a barrack-centric build, and not really that many mech units, which is kind of expected for Stukov. Alarak has put down his gateway, and one important thing to note about Alarak is Alarak has a very wonderful fast expand on this map. So if Alarak is able to sneak a probe over to this expansion area, he can put a pylon down behind this mineral line over here, and he can overcharge that pylon and clear out all the defenders and take his expansion really early. But it appears that Mr. Shrek is not going to do so. Over here we can see the stats. These are the special commander-centric stats. So this is the Alarak damage, and this is the number of units that have been spawned. So as the game progresses, this will kind of match the number of infested units spawned. I think it's an interesting stat to see how many units Stukov actually spawns throughout the course of the mission. So Alarak is stacking up. He's already put down his cyber next door, and he's taking his 2 gases right now. And Alarak will spawn in about 60 seconds. Bunker is already down for Stukov, and Bunker gets to work on clearing up these parts over here. SCV goes to pick up these parts, and the first bunch of infested eggs have been spawned. And these are going to be rallied over here to the side of the map. Usually it is better for Stukov to start rallying them towards the expansion area, but there is a problem in the sense that the infested, as you can see over here, move very slowly when the creep is not spread. Stukov's creep does spread from the command centers that are placed around the map, so the more command centers you have, like, the more creep that will be emanating from the command centers. Apocalypse goes down right now to start clearing these defenders to help facilitate a SCV transfer later on. Apocalypse makes its way towards the expansion right now, and a little bit of a deep barber charge, and he's going to start clearing up this area over here. Command center is already going down over here to pre-build, and this command center will eventually be transferred up to the expansion area. Alarak is over here, and he starts to take out the boxes and the bunkers that are here. Attack wave has spawned, and we can see the Reapers over here, which means that we are dealing with the Shadow Tech composition, and the Shadow Tech composition is relatively nasty. And Alarak casts Empower Me to teach these boxes a little bit of a lesson, which is somewhat interesting because Empower Me has no effect when Alarak has no units near him. But, you know, more power to Mr. Shrek, he seems to know what he's doing. Attack wave has been cleared up in the meanwhile by Stukov, more bunkers going down, and the command center is ready and good to go. Just a matter of time before Stukov realizes that, lifts up his bunker, and starts to transfer it towards the expansion area. Alarak going solo over here, walking into a siege tank. Siege tank starting to deal a lot of damage to Alarak. Alarak kills a Marine, Marine heals Alarak a little bit, and Alarak gets wrecked by the final siege tank shot. So far, the casualties is 1 Alarak and a bunch of infested, and Stukov happens to have lost a single SCV as well in the process. Command center on the way to the expansion, and Stukov's expansion is taken. Alarak has warped in a bunch of supplicants over here, and Stukov has 2 bunkers that he's now going to relocate. He's trying to avoid that little bunker over there. Supplicants decide to attack this bunker, and Stukov decides to help those supplicants there. We're kind of waiting for Alarak to respawn right now. Alarak is almost out. Let's have a look at the production. Alarak is getting level 1 attack upgrades, and Stukov is getting the level 1 attack upgrades as well. Alexander goes down right now, and the Alexander is going to make its way towards the enemy camp on the east of the map. Meanwhile, an attack wave has spawned again, and there will be Reapers in this attack wave, which can deal a lot of damage to rooted bunkers, because rooted bunkers are treated as structures, and Reapers deal extra structure damage. So usually it is much better to uproot your bunkers when dealing with a Reaper attack. And you'll see over here the amount of damage. Those Reapers dealing a lot of damage very, very quickly to the infested colonist compound. Apocalypse goes down, cleans the Reapers up without any problems. 2 Reapers still having to survive, so the Apocalypse turns around, says, hey, how did you guys actually survive that? And cleans up those Reapers, and then starts to make its way towards the western side of the map. Over here, we have an infested structure being cast on the missile turret. Broodlings don't really do a lot of damage, but they are slowly starting to eat their way through the bunker over here, but it's probably not going to make a difference. Apocalypse just parked over here. It appears that Stukov has forgotten this Apocalypse is out, and is just letting it expire. Alarak, in the meanwhile, has still not taken this expansion, despite the fact that there is a potential for a fast expand on Alarak. This is already at the 8-minute and 30-second mark. Stukov reroutes the Scymeter now towards the spot where the next hybrid will spawn, and starting direct is infested. So let's have a look at this production over here. We just have a bunker, and Alarak is getting his armor upgrades as well for that. Alarak happens to have died as well at some point. I'm not really sure what happened over there, but apparently Alarak died again. And AOM Master asks, are you one-basing? So we'll see what Alarak says about that. I'm not sure where Alarak is, actually. He apparently died at some point while I was commentating something else, but did he actually die? Yes, he did die. He died the second time. Shrek replies, you need more bases? As if he's wondering. Like, I'm actually wondering whether Shrek was offering that base, because I'm not sure. But we'll see what AOM Master says. No, just wondering if you've taken why you haven't taken your expo. So, yes, it's a little bit confusing why Alarak would not have taken this expansion early, but, you know, Shrek has a plan. And he says, see, I will. So Shrek does have a plan. There's a method to the madness. Valius making its way over here, and starting to clear this area, and Alarak clearing his expansion right now with Alarak himself. Shrek floating around 3,000 minerals, Stukov floating around 1,500, and yeah, Stukov should put these resources to better use. Alarak, let's have a look at what Alarak has. He has 6 supplicants and 3 stalkers, and now he decides to engage this attack wave, and there are a lot of casualties. Those sieged up liberators deal so much damage, and Alarak manages to eat through, but it is taking its toll on his army. He does end up losing a lot of units over here. Mobius hybrid spawns on this side. Alarak is on here, decides to deal with the hybrid, and seems to be doing okay. He's cast Empower Me again one more time, and this time the bunkers are dealing damage, and Alarak eats his first stalker, and with the amount of damage that's being dealt to him, that second stalker just goes down through just the DPS that's there from the Goliath. There's another Seeker Missile, Alarak dodges the Seeker Missile, and Stukov is dealing with the hybrid. The bunkers are not that great, but Alarak drops his Death Fleet over here and is able to help his ally deal with the hybrid at the start. And Alarak goes down because he was dealing with some bunkers over there, and the hybrid says die. I'm not sure whether the hybrid was talking to Alarak, but that is what it is. So far, Alarak has died a total of 3 times, and Stukov has basically just lost infested units, so those are free units. He hasn't lost any bunkers, so that's actually good for Stukov. And we have a bunch of siege tanks being made for Stukov over here with some upgrades on the way. So we can see that Stukov is going to focus a little bit more on siege tanks, so those siege tanks will help him deal with the hybrid. And because the creep has spread on behalf of Stukov over here, he'll be able to burrow those siege tanks and deep tunnel the siege tanks over to the hybrid spawns. Over here, Bakal is dealing with the small enemy camp on this side. Alarak is out, and he's back with a vengeance, and he is ready. And let's have a look at the units. So, Alarak has 12 supplicants, and that is basically it. He's producing a few more, and he has a total of 18 supplicants now, and he sends his army to the northwestern area here to take out these boxes. In the meanwhile, Stukov is just sending his Apocalypse all the way through, taking whatever he can, and then resetting his Psi emitter to start clearing up the boxes. Supplicants walk into a siege tank line. Raven casts a Seeker Missile. Seeker Missile hits about 3 or 4 Supplicants. And another Seeker Missile hits about like 6 Supplicants over here, dealing a lot of damage. Alarak is fine though, he's okay. Those are his Supplicants. And they give up their lives for Alarak. There's a little bit of Liberator harass on Stukov's side, but those Liberators get shooed away and get de-aggroed by something else. I'm not really sure why they're kind of spazzing out, but there are a bunch of Reapers, and those Reapers are really, really scary. Second train has spawned now, and Alarak decides to keep going. Seeker Missile on one of the Supplicants. Supplicants die, and Alarak is just getting wailed on by Seeker Missiles, the Hybrid, and the Thor, but he has Empower Me, allowing him to deal absolutely no increase in damage because all the Supplicants have died, and now Alarak goes down for the 4th time. Over here, there are still a few Marauders, but those Marauders get cleaned up. Liberators go down as well, and we have now enough boxes for the Valleys to spawn and take out the next Hybrid that'll spawn over here. Stukov still making his way over here to try and take up some more boxes, while the Valleys gets ready to attack the Hybrid. He's ignoring the train. The bonus objective is not really worth doing because there's a high chance of losing the mission if boxes are not picked up in time. So Stukov decides to do a small bunker push over here with about 6 or 7 bunkers, and he's going to take out whatever is left of the enemy base over here. Alarak has respawned and he is back now, and let's have a look at how many units he has. 14 Supplicants over here with Alarak, and he's going to go meet up his little minions. And he decides to go up towards the northwestern side to pick up some more boxes. Not really sure what Alarak's plan is over here. Oh, he's going for the train. Okay, I see. So Alarak does not have enough damage to take out this train, and if he actually wanted to take out the train, what he should have done is put down a couple of pylons and overcharge them. So I'm not sure why Alarak is even bothering with the train, but he decides to do so. Seeker Missile on Alarak, another Seeker Missile on Alarak, and there goes down another one Supplicant. And Alarak is still intent on trying to deal as much damage to this train, despite the fact that he's not going to be able to kill it. Next attack wave comes in over here. Some bunkers with some Cyclones, and a lot of Liberators are here. And Alarak is going to pay several probes cost. So he was at 2 probes lost. He's already lost 8, 9 probes, 10 probes, 11 probes. And that is the final tally. 11 probes go down. There are a few bunkers over here that have gone down as well as a result. So Stukov has lost, I think, 4 bunkers in that process. But those bunkers are able to hold. And finally, Alarak casts an overcharge to take out the 1 Raven that is remaining over there. In the meanwhile, Stukov is dealing with the Hybrid. Alarak has cast his Death Fleet to deal damage to the Hybrid as well, and the Siege Tank's doing a lot of work on the Hybrid with the infested, the volatile infested that is being fired from there. And that is that Hybrid gone down. Alarak is ready again, and this time he has 6 Supplicants, and he's going to start dealing with it. Unfortunately, he does not have detection, and a lot of Banshees are dealing a lot of damage to Alarak. So he has like 4 Supplicants and 3 Stalkers. 1 Stalker already goes down in sacrifice for Alarak, and those Banshees now go down after an Empower Me. Alarak is still working away on the factory. Doesn't seem to be too interested in the boxes. Now he takes out the boxes after the factory's gone down, because the factory poses a serious threat to Alarak. Significantly bigger threat than the invisible Banshees. Another attack wave has spawned, and this attack wave is significantly larger. So we have a bunch of Cyclones, we have probably a few Ravens as well in the attack wave, and some Marauders. Cyclones just wrecked that 1 infested, it's just wandering around there for no reason. But and we have battle cruisers in that mix. The battle cruisers are going to Yamato cannon the bunkers. Bunkers are trying to heal up. The upgrade for the bunkers is done, and Alarak decides, you know what, I got this. So Alarak with his 15 supplicants and 2 stalkers is ready to take out these battlecruisers. A lot of supplicants are going down with respect to the battlecruisers because of the amount of damage that's being dealt, but Alarak is able to deal with that attack wave. Now Alarak decides to take out the supply depot. He wants to supply cap Amon and make sure Amon cannot produce any other stuff in here. There are a few remaining battlecruisers in the small little pocket expansion over here for Amon, but these battlecruisers will go down eventually to the amount of infested that are there. A total of 980 infested have spawned so far. We're closing in around 1,000 infested units spawned from Stukov, and there we go. That's 1,000 infested that have been spawned so far. And Alarak decides to try and take out this battlecruiser, which he does eventually. Stukov reroutes his psi emitter to this area over here. This is the last remaining area, I think, which has some boxes. There is a secret missile over there, but the sheer number of infested with the amount of broodlings that are spawned, this area has, it stands no chance. And let's have a look at the production over here. So Alarak is still going for his level 3 attack upgrades, which is semi-interesting over here, because Alarak does not get bonuses from the attack or the armor upgrades for Protoss. So I believe it is so he can improve the power of his supplicants, but he doesn't normally have supplicants around. But Alexander goes down right here, Apocalypse comes down as well and starts to clean up this expansion. Hybrid Dominator over here stands essentially no chance against the sheer number of infested that are being spawned over here. Alexander working away on these 2 hybrid nemesis, or as I like to call them, the tuna fish hybrids, because they do look like little bits of tuna fish. This whole area goes down. Alarak casts Empower Me, takes out the last hybrid, and goes to work on the bunker. And Alarak has 12 supplicants and 3 stalkers so far. Let's have a look at the units lost while the Balius is making its way over. Alarak has lost a total of 46 supplicants and 8 stalkers. And Stukov has lost several hundreds of infested, but those units are free, so Stukov is not particularly affected by this. Stukov sets up a defense over here, so he's rooted his bunkers, burrows some deep tunnels some siege tanks over here, and is just setting up now to deal with the next hybrid. And the attack wave has spawned over here and starts to deal damage with the hybrid siege double liberators. There is a lot of damage output, and that Balius is not going to stand a chance. General Davis decides to be a coward and just run away, and she's just going to break the hybrid containment cell and leave it up to the players to deal with the last hybrid over here. Hybrid is now out, spawns, goes into the middle of the bunkers, and the bunkers start dealing a lot of damage combined with the siege tanks. Alarak drops his Death Fleet right now, and Death Fleet starts to deal damage as well. And the Hybrid spawns an attack wave, so that's one of the Hybrid's abilities. The Hybrid has a number of abilities, and one of them is that he can spawn an attack wave every 45 seconds. Gas to stasis, stasis the bunker, but the bunkers just deal so much damage combined with the siege tanks. And that is GG. A total unit loss count, 51 stalkers, 51 supplicants, and Alarak has died 4 times in total in this mission. And we have a total of almost 1,500 infested that were spawned. And that is game.